The paradox of power. The more you have, the weaker you become. Hello, my friend. Before we begin, take a breath, let the noise fade. If this message finds you, it is because a part of you is tired of chasing and ready to choose differently. If this resonates, consider subscribing now so you do not miss the next chapter of this journey. We build here with honesty, clarity, and courage. 1. The lie of more and the man who needed nothing. The world tells you that the more you have, the stronger you are, the bigger the house, the faster the car, the more people know your name, the more powerful you must be. But what if everything you have been taught about strength is wrong? What if real power begins the moment you stop needing so much? There was a man who lived centuries ago. He owned nothing, he slept in a barrel. And yet, he was untouchable. When the most powerful ruler on earth offered him anything he desired, he simply said, "Step aside, you are blocking my sunlight." That man was Diogenes. He had no possessions, no title, no army, but he had something most people spend their lives chasing: freedom. The less you need, the harder it is for anyone to control you. When you cannot be bought or threatened, you cannot be owned. Living simply is not weakness. It is strategy. It is the foundation that lets you build real power without becoming a slave to it. When your needs shrink, your options expand. When dependency falls, leverage rises. This is not about rejecting money or success. It is not about glorifying poverty. It is about control and who truly holds it. 2. Diogenes and the 4 ancient pillars of untouchability. Before we talk about why simplicity is power, we need to understand the man behind the idea. Diogenes of Sinope was not a writer. He did not build a school. He did not write a single book. He lived his philosophy. In a world where wealth and status defined identity, he dismantled illusions with how he chose to live. He was part of the original Cynic movement, not the modern bitterness, but the discipline of rejecting what is unnecessary. He trained himself to depend on less. He trained himself to fear less. He trained himself to speak truth without begging for approval. His way rested on 4 pillars. Autarkia, self-sufficiency. The less you depend on others, the less control they have over you. If you can live with little, no one can take away what matters because you need nothing from them. Anaideia, shamelessness rightly ordered. He refused to be ruled by the fear of judgment. When a person no longer fears what others think, he becomes difficult to move and impossible to own. Parrhesia, fearless speech. He spoke the truth directly, even to kings, because he did not need their praise. Cataphysn, living according to nature. He returned to what is real, simple, and essential: food, shelter, sunlight, air. Everything beyond that was optional. Everything beyond that could become a chain you choose to wear. He said, "He has the most who needs the least." It was not poetry. It was a weapon, a shield against control. A person who can live with little cannot be bought. He cannot be threatened. He cannot be ruled. That was his strength. 3. The modern cage of more. If Diogenes lived today, he would smirk and say, "Same game, better marketing." The strategy has not changed. Society gives you more and then traps you with what you own. You are told that a bigger house means you have made it. A faster car means you are important. A new title and a louder reputation mean you are winning. But with every new thing you add a chain. Ownership becomes obligation. The house adds bills and pressure to keep a job just to pay for it. The car adds insurance, repairs, and fear of loss. The moment you get what you wanted, you fear losing it. Control begins where fear begins. And it is not just things. It is image. It is reputation. It is approval. You start dressing, speaking, and living for the crowd. You move to avoid disapproval, not to pursue truth. That fear keeps most people on a leash without them knowing it. Modern culture manufactures wants. Your phone shouts all day with things to buy, trends to follow, people to impress. You think you are buying a product. You are buying a piece of your own cage. Then comes debt, the most invisible chain. You borrow to live a lifestyle. The system now owns your time. You work not because you want to. You work because you must. Debt looks like opportunity. It behaves like control. Add the attention economy, and your focus is carved into fragments. Without attention, there is no depth. Without depth, there is no power. More does not always make you stronger. Often more makes you heavy. More makes you fragile. When your strength comes from things you can lose, it is not strength. Diogenes stripped life to what he needed so that no one could move him with fear. He showed that the system does not need to lock you in a cell. It only needs to persuade you to build one yourself out of your wants. Simplicity is not romance, it is a weapon. 4. Proof by action. The bowl, the lantern, the king. Sometimes philosophy does not need a lecture. Sometimes one act is 1,000 words. Diogenes carried a small wooden bowl for water. One day he saw a boy drinking from a fountain with his hands. The child needed nothing else. Diogenes paused, then threw away the bowl. Even the simplest object can become an unnecessary chain. He chose to live the point rather than preach it. Another day the most powerful man on earth stood before him. Alexander the Great asked, "Is there anything I can give you?" Diogenes replied from the sunlight, "Yes, step aside, you are blocking my sun." The emperor owned empires, Diogenes owned his freedom. In that moment the man with no crown stood higher than the man who ruled the world. Alexander is said to have whispered, "If I were not Alexander, I would wish to be Diogenes." Because deep down even a king understands the power of a person who cannot be bought. He also walked through Athens at noon with a lit lantern. When people asked why, he said, "I am looking for an honest man." He ate where others thought it shameful to eat. He slept where it suited him. He ignored empty rituals. He did not break rules to shock people. He broke illusions to reveal how weak those rules were. A person who does not fear judgment is hard to control. A person with nothing to lose is impossible to control. That was his genius. 5. Why people break when things break. When your life is built on what you own, your fears are built on it too. Lose the job and your identity shakes. Lose the house and your safety shakes. Lose the title and your self-image shakes. Many do not just lose a thing. They lose themselves. At the collective level, a society built on endless needs is easy to steer. When people fear loss, they obey. When debts rise, they stay quiet. When distraction multiplies, they stop asking hard questions. Power does not need force when people are busy protecting their own cages. That is why Diogenes was dangerous. He needed nothing that could be taken. No law, no ruler, no threat could move him. He had stepped outside the game that trapped everyone else. The more you build your life around things, the more fragile you become. The less you need, the harder you are to break. This is the uncomfortable truth. 6. The 4 pillars strategy for today. You do not need a barrel to reclaim your power. You need a strategy. Simplicity is not the end. It is the foundation. Use 4 pillars. Reduce, protect, grow, multiply. Reduce. Begin with a 14-day audit. Write down where your time and money go. Subscriptions, apps, routines, purchases, people. Ask one brutal question for each. Do I need this or have I just grown used to it? Cut what does not serve your direction. Every unnecessary obligation is a leash. Every leash has a hand holding it. Add a 7-day attention detox. Turn off notifications for 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours at night. No news, no messages, no feeds. Use one no-spend weekend each month. This is not about a few dollars. It is retraining desire so you can tell want from need. Protect. Build a financial firewall. Aim for 3 to 6 months of expenses. Destroy high-interest debt as fast as you can. Debt is a modern chain. You cannot pretend to be free with a chain around your neck. Protect your time and your relationships. Practice the 3 deep rule. Go deep with the few who matter and politely decline most invitations that do not align with your path. Grow. Spend 30 to 90 minutes each day in solitude. No phone, no noise. Find your telos. Name what matters, then stack skills that serve it. Pick one skill and commit for 90 days. Depth creates strength. Shallow variety creates noise. Multiply. When the foundation is simple, leverage becomes clean. Choose your levers carefully. Technology, audience, capital, a small trusted network. Use leverage to amplify your purpose, not to hide insecurity. The simpler your foundation, the more risk you can take. The person who can walk away holds the real power. Set public boundaries to train respect. No calls after 8 at night. No work on weekends. Say no with clarity and without apology. 7. Honest objections answered. Not everyone can afford to live simply. That is true. Poverty is being forced to live with less. Simplicity is choosing to live with less. One is weakness, the other is strength. Many of the most successful builders kept a deliberately simple lifestyle to keep their burn rate low and their runway long. But I need connections. Yes, Quality beats quantity. 3 real relationships built on trust will do more than 1,000 business cards. When you stop chasing approval, you stop wasting hours on empty conversations. Not everyone has the same starting point. That is true. Simplicity is a spectrum. Turn off notifications for 2 hours. Cancel one expense. Decline one empty obligation. Control compounds. If I remove too much, will I lose motivation? The opposite happens. When you clear noise, the real signal of desire grows louder. Energy that fed distraction now feeds direction. Simplicity is not retreat. It is clarity. And clarity is rare. 8. The 7-Day Minimal Challenge. 7 days. No excuses. Turn off notifications 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours at night. Have one no-spend weekend. Say no to 70% of invitations that do not serve you. Sit alone with your thoughts for 30 minutes every day. At the end, measure not how much you own, but how little owns you. If you are ready, comment, I will try. If you want the next video to show how to turn simplicity into unstoppable leverage, comment, leverage. Diogenes did not wait for permission. Neither should you. The strongest person is not the one who owns the most. It is the one who needs the least. If this message helped you breathe a little deeper, subscribe now so you never miss what comes next. We will keep building your freedom, one clear choice at a time.